recent events of World War I left cities in ruins and overrun with grief and destruction. And who would have thought that it hasn't been long since we cut the Gordian knot? But bro, Germany's collapsed economy, its weakened military colony, led to Hitler coming suddenly and his wish to establish hegemony in 1990s, known as Poland invader. That was too much of the aggression of the dictator. Great Britain and France could not longer ignore his behavior, declaring war a couple of days later. Together they undertook to fight justice, but neither France could resist Blitzkrieg. Paris was captured, nor the Great Britain, which was bombed and fractured. And here, with an unquenchable thirst for power, the commander crossed the line, seeing only his desire. By breaking the pact, he dared to challenge Stalin. Though sitting on the tower, he decided to climb higher, but the Soviet Union would not surrender. The cold prevented the enemy spreading, so the German troops did not remain standing. They ran away, the attackers failed. On the other side of the world, across the ocean, the United States is also in devotion. It is ready to supply its allies with ammunition, though it stays away from conflict in a neutral position. So it seemed like it would last for a long time, but the already damaged relations with Japan suddenly flare up even more by the event December 7, 1941, an unexpected attack. Pearl Harbor, Hawaii naval fleet in distress. Well, war is war, the USA now is also in business. Now a real world war is unavoidable. Every moment since there is gonna be notable. Burning of people's morality. What a bloodthirsty reality. The hearts of every person soaked in tears and grief of suffering. Every day lasts forever, but what a marvel, however, if there's ever a leisure from the death and the terror. As a result, the USSR, Great Britain, France, and the USA are allies. And on the other side, Italy, Japan, and Germany are the Axis powers profitably tied. Now the world was covered in nightmares. Japanese internment camps in the United States, confronting desert foxes, dirty affairs, the most dangerous air route through Himalayas. The terrible torment of Jews in the Holocaust, the siege of Soviet Stalingrad for months. But we didn't compromise with it. The French resistance lifted our spirit, and the American victory on Midway Island gave us hope, made us less frightened. We stayed together, we fought it bravely, until the D-Day has come stately. The blockade was broken gamely. The Allies broke through so steadily to the beaches of German-held France. Finally, we have advanced. We are making our way forward. From afar we hear the word of Paris people who's rejoicing, 'cause foes' defeat is strongly knocking. It's almost here, yeah, it's so near, and its capital Berlin on the horizon now appear. On the horizon now appear. Although Hitler's scattered forces are still avenging with explosions of the threatening V-2 rockets on May 2, the Allied flag of the year 1945 was raised in Berlin, final cry. And in the bunker suicide, Hitler shot into himself. Mussolini has been slain. All the efforts weren't in vain. Peace has reigned in Europe plains. Burning of people's morality. What a bloodthirsty reality. The hearts of every person soaked in tears and grief of suffering. Every day lasts forever, but what a marvel, however, if there's ever a leisure from the death and the terror. It's peace in Europe, but there's still one last unresolved issue. To witness the victory President Roosevelt would wish. But he died a few weeks before the good news. Now Harry Truman has to fill President's shoes. and face a difficult decision with Joe Pan undefeated. Cause there have been enough victims, will we have to reveal the weapon of secrets? The choice was made on August 6th. The nuclear bomb was dropped and time ticks. 3 days later, the next one, gosh, 200,000 souls just have passed. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are under radiation. Horror, dreadful military operation. The forces are clearly unequal in might, so Japanese leaders return to contact, and over the head they raise the white flag. For 6 long years, the world was moving towards the end. On that date, on the 2nd September, my friend, the earth saturated with blood, felt the happiness flood, heard the exclamations of people, the tears of loved ones, the tears of survivors. Lil was longer to politics, the ripples round of the dances of victory that we so needed. What a war, how many lives it took. All the names cannot be counted in the thickest book. We'll never forget the cities that were laid